Over the last few weeks, we've been seeing a lot happen between Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Becky Lynch. Right? Which, good, awesome. I love that we are continuing the story. I love that they, haven't pressed the brakes on the story at all by any means. But it got me thinking, where do we go from here, right? At Clash in Paris, we just had Seth Rollins win the Fatal 4-Way against CM Punk, Jey Uso, and LA Knight with the help of his wife, Becky Lynch. She came in, gave the low blow to CM Punk, which was super unpredictable. It wasn't anything that I didn't hear anyone say that was going to be the way he was going to win, especially once Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed got kicked out. And so it's cool that that's the way they chose to do this. Now, that leads to Monday Night Raw, where we get CM Punk coming out. He's doing his thing. He's talking about Seth and Becky and everything that they've been doing and blah, 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 blah. Becky Lynch comes out, and we have arguably one of the best face-to-face segments we've had in a long time. I think Becky Lynch definitely held her own. I think that obviously CM Punk held his own as well, but we don't have many moments where there's a man and a woman talking. We haven't really had a lot of those moments in a while, and so I thought Becky Lynch did a great job, especially being in Paris where the crowd is loud as crap. Just being in control. I feel like she was the one in control of that segment. Like, I feel like she controlled the crowd. I feel like she controlled CM Punk. As crazy as that sounds, it just felt like she knew exactly what she was doing and how to do it exactly the way that she wanted it to be done. And obviously, CM Punk continues to call out Seth. And Seth makes an appearance. It's really quick, but he makes an appearance. He comes out there, basically says, hey, come say it to my face. And then we get probably one of the most 90s black movie moments I've ever seen in the WWE, with Becky Lynch slapping CM Punk and continues to slap CM Punk for about 18 to 25 times. Calls him pathetic, calls him this, calls him that, and it just felt like I was watching, like I said, one of those 90s black movies or hood movies growing up, like Baby Boy or, Friday, or it just felt like I was watching a movie from my childhood. But it was perfect. It was great. It was exactly what needed to happen. Because that segment, although it was good in the talking department, it felt like it was missing something. And that's exactly what it was missing to take this to that next level and over the edge. Now, that got me to the point about why I'm making this video. AJ Lee. AJ Lee, obviously, is CM Punk's wife. We all know that. The WWE knows that. She's not just like, they're actually like married, kind of like, just like Seth and Becky. We need the return. Now, the issue I'm having here is, will this return live up to the hype? That's the problem I'm having with this return. And I like AJ Lee. I don't know if she's gonna react the way we need her to react to those slaps to CM Punk from Becky. Because if I was to swap CM Punk with Jimmy Uso and AJ Lee would have been Naomi returning, Naomi would deliver 1000%. I don't know if AJ Lee will deliver outside of the ring to make the actual fight against Becky what we need it to be. And that's where I'm kind of hung up at. Do I want the return? Absolutely. Do I hope that they do mixed tag team matches? Absolutely. Do I hope that Becky joins the division and this becomes bigger than just, you know, WrestlePalooza, where they're probably going to have this one-on-one singles match? Absolutely. I really hope that this becomes something way bigger. Hope that this becomes something that, you know, it's maybe even for the titles. I don't know. I just hope that it's bigger than, you know, this singles match that we're probably going to get between AJ and Becky, and then it all just kind of dies down, and then AJ Lee goes off into a different story and Becky goes off to a different story, and then we forget it ever happened. Like, I hope that it's not that. I genuinely hope that this becomes a bigger rivalry like CM Punk and Seth Rollins has been going on for years and years and years. Maybe not the same, obviously, but I hope that it does become something that is bigger than just, you know, a right now thing. Now, how does that happen, right? We got War Games coming up. We got obviously WrestlePalooza coming up, but it looks like the teams are starting to get built. However, the Vision isn't adding any men. They just added a woman. Are we going to have our first intergender War Games match? Like, that's definitely possible, right? With Seth Rollins, Braun, Bronson, Becky, and maybe another female. Possible, because on the other side, we already got CM Punk, LA Knight, Jay, maybe Roman, and fill in the blank. Is that it, or AJ Lee? I'm sorry. Could that happen? It seems like it. Should that happen? I don't really necessarily think so, but it definitely could happen. We could have an intergender War Games match. Because I think that looking back at last year's War Games match, the women's match had a lot of botches, and it was not the best. And I think that it'd be good to maybe blend the two together. But who's to say, right? Now, also, you know, with that being said, I'm not really sure. Again, I'm not really sure what they could do with AJ Lee to make this rivalry between her and Becky last past their match. You know, I think that, again, obviously the titles are involved. I also think that I wish that this was a little bit later on. I wish that they would have had Becky as the world champion instead of just the IC champion, because this story between Becky Lynch and AJ Lee is bigger than anything Stephanie Valkyrie and Io Sky and all those ladies are doing over there, in my opinion. Again, I just think that this kind of is, there's a lot of things that I'm not agreeing with right now with the way that the creative department is going, and that's one of them. I think that Becky Lynch should have lost to Nikki, gave Nikki the title, beat Stephanie Valkyrie at WrestlePalooza, and then they should have started this AJ Lee thing that we're going through right now. But they didn't. So now there's a possibility that this could all be on the mid-card IC level, and I just think that it's bigger than that. I think that the only thing we've been talking about this whole week is AJ Lee potentially coming back to destroy Becky Lynch, because Becky Lynch did such a good job both Sunday and Monday night. And so those are just my thoughts. I think that AJ Lee should come back. I just think that if she does come back, I hope that this lasts longer than just WrestlePalooza. And I do wish that this was for the world title and not just the IC title. So, I don't know. But hit the like button. Comment what you guys think about the AJ Lee possible return. Will she return this Friday? Will she return at WrestlePalooza? I don't really know. Hopefully sooner the better. But again, those are just my thoughts. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.